We're coming to get our check.
B1 brothers and sisters, welcome to the Afro Elite channel. If you guys have not subscribed, please do so and leave a like as you guys are coming in. We already have some people in here. Mystic. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, and Nikki the God. B1 salute to both of you all. I know this is unusual. I normally don't go live at this time at all, but you know, this program is not going to be that long. It's just going to be a call to action because I felt that I definitely need to use my platform to bring awareness to this issue. So we have one of our queen mothers, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, who was, unbeknownst to us, fired and disrespected by Howard University. So if you guys don't know who Dr. Frances Cress Welsing is, let me give you guys a very brief rundown. So I'm going to share this. I found this article that kind of lists all of her credentials and places she's worked. And this is just for the people who might not be fully aware of Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, because we can't just assume that everybody is. So if you guys don't know who she is, you guys definitely want to read up on all of her work. Definitely get her book, The ISIS Papers. It's a must read. Most definitely, it's a must read. So I'm going to share this article and I'm going to read it to you all real fast. Okay. Okay, this is Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. She was born in Chicago, so that's another W for Chicago, of course. But it starts off with, okay, this is the author of the ISIS paper, Dr. Cress Welsing, and the Cress Welsing theory. She was born in 1935, March 18th, 1935. Okay, so we're going down here because there's a couple things we want to talk about. B1 to everybody in the room, please make sure you guys leave a like as you guys are coming in. Okay, it starts off with, we're right here. In addition to being a world-renowned author, Dr. Welsing was a practicing psychiatrist, starting her career at Cook County Hospital as an intern in 1962 to 1963. She also worked at St. Elizabeth Hospital, resident in general psychiatry, 1963 to 1966, Children's Hospital, following children's psychology, and in 1966 to 1968. Now, it doesn't really state where she got her credentials from. She did, let me see if I can remember exactly where she got her. I know she got her credentials in 1960. She got her credentials in 1962, and then she started working as an intern in 1962. So if you guys know that information down below, I had a couple notes, but I lost the book. So, sometimes the dates can be a little confusing, but we're going to continue. Okay. Where I think it was right here. 1966 to 1968, private practice in general psychiatry, Washington, D.C., 1966, and general in children's psychiatry, Washington, D.C., in 1968. Howard University of Medicine, assistant professor, Partis, Partis, 1968 to 1975. Now, here's the thing. They're not admitting that Howard University actually fired Dr. Welsing for her theories and her breaking down of white supremacy. So as we continue, Hillcrest Children's Center, clinical director, 1975 to 1976. Affiliated with Paul Robeson School of Growth and Development, North Community Medical Health Center in Washington, D.C., from 1976 to 1990s. Okay. And if you guys know, in 1991 is when she came out with the ISIS paper. So you can tell just based off of this how hardworking of an individual she was. She worked all the way consecutively from hold on, let me see. Hold on. She said, "Can I please pin the link? Pin the link. What link? Oh, okay. Yeah, let me pin that up to the chat. Hold on. That's a good idea. Okay, I just did it. So okay. So if you guys, Nikki the God, she did a Twitter space, and has a lot of calls to action because we're gonna get into that. I'm just giving you guys like a brief like synopsis of the work she has done and a little bit of the work she's put in. These are just the places she's worked. But for those of you guys who don't or who haven't listened to the space, I definitely recommend that you do so. So go to this link that is at the top of the chat room. So if you're in the chat room, just go to the top of the link. That was a good idea, Nikki. Thanks. Okay, so we're continuing, right? Okay, let's continue. Let me find out where I left off. But I just wanted to say, let me pause real quick, actually. I just wanted to say she worked all the way up until she got her medical degree in psychiatry. She got her medical degree and she started working from 1962 all the way up until the 90s. That's 30 years nonstop. Hospital, children's hospital, medical hospital, all of these different things. Oh, what is her theory? Well, that's a great question. We're actually going to get right into that. So let me reshare the screen and we're going to go down here. Okay. Now, this is them. I guess they made a reflection of her work. We're kind of gonna get down. Actually, we're gonna read that. Check out the Orosis papers, reflection of the life and writing of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Black Classic Press, 2019. It is intended to be the first of many treaties. Is I guess that's like a life written of a saint. That's kind of what that word means by definition. Written to explain the life theories and contributions of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Some of these writings will be now this word is a little difficult for me to pronounce. Hagmographic is like kind of like godly almost. Some will be critical, but all will expand our understanding of one of the greatest African thinkers in the last 100 years. Now, we know Dr. Francis Cress Welsing was FBA. She was a foundational Black American. So she wasn't, no. Now that was a miss. You can miss me with that. She was FBA. But anyway, reading down to more of her work, okay? There's many down right here. Hold on. Let me get like right there. Okay. Okay, here we go. Quote, there are so many things to feel about this woman, end quote. So for this volume, we assembled a group of scholars, social activists, and entertainers to write on one of the 9 areas of white supremacy outlined by Neely Fuller in his monumental work, the United Independent. I'm sorry, the United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept. That's a book you guys definitely need to read. That's a must read as well too. A compensatory counter racism code, racist code. You will learn. It's a little. The screen is kind of. I need to get a new monitor, so it's a little difficult for me to read. So I apologize if I have to like reread a sentence. So you guys know, I'm working on getting a new monitor. Some I've been needing to do for a long time. So I apologize for that. But shout out to everybody in the room. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do so. Now, it says you will learn how Mr. Fuller directly influenced the theories of Dr. Welsing. While Mr. Fuller asks, what is racism / white supremacy? Dr. Welsing asks, why is there racism, white supremacy? Okay. It's very important. Now, let me just pause it real quick. It's very important for you to understand both, to be honest. Because if you don't understand both how they're doing what they're doing and then why they're doing what they're doing, you're really going to be confused. Because you can understand like the 9 areas of activity that white supremacy dominates. you can understand that, but the motives of white supremacy you won't understand. And for the longest time, black people have been, especially foundational black Americans, we've been very confused about that because we've been looking at things from like just a moral point of view, just like the morality in FBA is just so high. We would think, why would a people do this to another people? We couldn't really comprehend the motive for such evil until Dr. Welsing really had to study and break it down for a lot of people, because you think, what did we do to deserve to be treated like this? I don't understand that. And she breaks it down from like a psychiatrist point of view. So that's why her work is very important. Okay. Um Now, we're going to continue. We're going to continue. There is an important difference in the two queries, and each will be answered in various ways throughout this volume by two writers. Okay, so this is Dr. Francis Cress Welsing's book. If you guys need, that's the book right there. Okay, if you guys need a bigger version, like, you guys look, this is the book right here. Let me go zoom in right there. That's the ISIS papers. It's definitely a must read. You guys definitely have to check that book out. Now, we're going to get, and like I said, this live is not going to be long. I want to show you a small clip of Dr. Welsing, just so you can actually understand how really genius she was. She was a living genius. And rest in peace to her. Rest in power to um our master teacher. And I really need to get a new monitor. I'm gonna do that this weekend. Definitely gonna do that this weekend. But let me check this out, because it's a little blurry. That my laptop is better, but it's smaller. So I use this one because it's bigger, but it's kind of older, so it's blurry. So it's difficult to see at times. So I'm definitely gonna get a new one. But look at this clip. And before we do this clip, just so there's no issues, despite, and if you guys need the link, I can't put the link in the description because, this is some good work right here. Let me read the Copyright Act. Let me just do that, cross my I's and dot my T's. Of course, let me do. Okay. All right then. So got that out of the way, so YouTube won't be messing with this channel any more than it already does. So you already know. Hold on. Move that out the way. All right. Now here's the clip. Let me skip past. Hold on. There we go.
Well, the Crest theory was an attempt back in the late 1960s to explain what I thought is it is a Crest theory of color confrontation and racism, white supremacy. An attempt to, as a psychiatrist, as a Black psychiatrist, to understand, well, what exactly is this thing that we call racism, white supremacy? Looking at why do white people behave in the way that they do. You see, in concluding that it has to do, number one, with their minority status on the planet, their genetic recessive status, in that they could experience genetic annihilation, in that the overwhelming majority of people on the planet are black, brown, red, and yellow, and whites constitute fewer than 1/10 of the people on the planet.
one of the things that we find that is happening now is there's this constant countdown. You see it on the news all the time. So when America's a majority minority nation, so there's still this countdown happening in terms of when white folks will be in the minority.
They will be a majority minority, which is nonsensical. There will be a white minority. If the non-white, if the black, brown, red, and yellow people are here, they will be the majority and whites will be the minority. You see, and it's a illogical statement to talk about a majority minority. I mean, which is like white supremacy. I still have to put myself on top. I have to pose that I am genetically superior to compensate. I say it's a compensation for a genetic recessive status. Well, I think I was the first person to talk about white genetic annihilation in those terms, and that racism is ultimately a total system for white genetic survival and to prevent white genetic annihilation on a planet that has the genetics and the demographics that exist on third planet from the sun, which is planet Earth. So I was the first to put it in those terms, and my thesis has not been refuted. I would say that if my definition is understood, that racism, white supremacy is the fear on the part of people who classify themselves as white about white genetic annihilation and the concern for white genetic survival. This would therefore mean logically and specifically that the focus has to be on black males, because black people have the greatest genetic potential to produce the black pigment melanin, which gives all skin color. And since we have the highest level of genetically determined ability to produce this pigment that can cause white genetic annihilation, and it's only males who can impose sexual intercourse. And so the focus consciously, subconsciously has to zero in on the males. This is why I say that understanding, I'm not talking about institutional racism. I'm talking about a total system construct that develops out of certain patterns of thinking on the part of people who classify themselves as white relative to specific realities that exist on this planet. And so then once that is understood, that the fear of genetic annihilation, that takes to the focus on the male, the black male person, as being the number one perceived threat, the number one enemy, and everything flows from that.
Okay. So that's only like 5 minutes. That's only about 5 minutes, but you can it's is it it's not showing that it glitched. Yeah, that was just a 5-minute clip. That was it. That was all that was. She has interviews and speeches all over YouTube. So if you guys want to see more of her work, I just want to like give you guys a little taste of like some of her knowledge, you know. So if you, and of course, this, I can't show you like hours of her interviews or hours of her speeches. So I just want to show you a small little, like, I think that was like 4 or 5 minutes. So just a small little clip, but you can see, and let me find out exactly when this was, let me see exactly when this was. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure when she did this interview, but you can see everything she said was the absolute truth. We have people like Peyton Gendron, who's writing stuff on his assault rifle, going into grocery stores, killing black people because he said about genetic annihilation. Even Joe Biden has said he's concerned about genetic annihilation. If you guys have watched the previous broadcast I did about the overturning of Roe v. Wade, I said that they did that because they're concerned with the white genetic annihilation. All of this is based off of the things that Dr. Welsing has taught us. It's about the genetic annihilation. They're concerned because they know their numbers are plummeting. The average white person in America is like in their like late 40s, mid 50s, like in that age. They're not young and youthful, and they're having problems reproducing. They're dying more than they're giving birth. Even they have admitted this. This isn't like a conspiracy theory, something crazy that I'm saying. They have even admitted this. She broke this down years and years and years before I'm literally telling you decades before they admitted this, because she saw it. She saw, okay, without the way they're breeding, with the lack of melanin and everything like that, they're afraid that eventually, even though they are the world's minority, if you want to count up all of the white people and non-white people, and even the white people and black people, they're the minority, but they're afraid of that because they feel like as a minority they will have no power, and then they will be able to be victimized like they have been doing to other people. So she predicted that way before. And so you had Howard University. She was working at Howard University in 1960s. So in 1960s, Howard University fired her. And we have Dr. Maya, and I'm going to show you her a clip on Twitter. Let me share my screen in just 1 second right here. Okay. Let me see if you guys can see it properly. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to click this and then zoom in. And shout out to Dr. Mayat for bringing this to our attention.
Family, they owe our ancestor an apology, family.
Hold on.
So let me put this up. We need to flood them with emails while Mama Lauren is still alive, family. She should be apologized. They owe her and her family a public apology, and we the people demand they do that. I know they wouldn't like their enrollment numbers to drop because a lot of black people support Howard. Remember HU, all that crap. Well, tell HU to apologize to our ancestor that they fired in 1975 for telling the daggone truth. They owe the Crest family a public apology. They owe a public apology, and family, we can make it happen. We can make it happen. I'm throwing it on the screen. This is the president's email address. Let's flood their asses with emails and tell them they need to publicly apologize to the Crest family. Now, I think Mama Crest she may be in her late 80s. She may be about 87, something like that. I know she's in her late 80s. And the glasses that she was wearing on the interview, those were Dr. Frances Cress Welsing's glasses that she wore on the interview that she had with me, family. But they need to publicly apologize, and we, the people, demand that they do. So, family, that is the email address. I'm going to be flooding their tails with emails starting tonight. When I get off of this live stream, I'm sending the president an email, and in the subject, demand for public apology. And I'm going to talk about in my email how Howard fired Dr. Frances Cress Welsing in 1975. They fired her in 1975 for speaking truth to power, for talking about racism and white supremacy, and they never apologized to that woman. But we, the people, demand that you do so, or else we just going to give Howard a bad name. I'm going to start banging on Howard. Don't get me started. I'm going to start banging. We're going to start banging on Howard. And I bet you if those enrollment numbers drop, I guarantee you they'll be apologizing. This is the office number. This is the office number, family. The office of the president. So there may be some people who don't feel comfortable emailing. That's fine. You may want to pick up the telephone and call. I plan on doing both. And I'm going to email tonight and I'm going to call tomorrow. But family, let's flood them. Let's flood the office with telephone calls and emails demanding a public apology to the Crest family. Mama Lauren Crest is the last Crest sister that's left because her parents are all deceased. Grandparents and parents are all deceased. She's the last one, family. She's the last one. Let's give that to her. Let's make that happen, family. Let's make that happen. We, the people, demand a public apology to the Crest family, Howard University.
Okay.
Family, they
That
don't
was,
want.
hold on, that was Dr. Maya. Let me stop sharing that real quick. If you guys are following, the link to the space is pinned at the top of the chat room, so you guys can go to that, and then all of the information will be on the thread. But I went to our sister Nikki's page right here, and this is the number. These are the numbers and the emails. Let me show it right here. These are the numbers and the emails to Howard. This is the office of the president right here. HU, that's Howard University, president at howard.edu. And then this is the number. This is the provost and chief academic officer. This is his email, and this is his number right here. And then click that a little bit. And then you have more stuff down here. This is their email. You might not be able to see it on your screen right here, but if you go to her page, or go to the link, if you go to the link that I provided at the top, you guys can see that as well too. So we most definitely need to be flooding with emails, tweets at them, call them, get their attention to force them to apologize. Because let me tell you something, when white people feel like their icons are disrespected in any bit, despite how notoriously evil their icons will be, they will go out and they will riot, and they don't care if they kill somebody. They don't even care if they kill white people. They don't care if they kill white people in defending their icons. They will literally defend statues of Christopher Columbus. They will go out and go crazy for a statue of Christopher Columbus, for a statue of Robert E. Lee, for other Confederate general statues, despite the fact that they're American traitors. They're white, by their own words, they're white supremacists. They will still go out there and defend them. So we have to defend our icons. We cannot let Howard University get away with disrespecting our icon without that being addressed, without them being forced to apologize for it. If they ride over football game, they'll ride over anything that gets them upset. They'll lose their minds over it. So we have to make sure that they apologize. So this is definitely a call to action. I will be linking after the fact. I will be linking all of the information, like the emails and the numbers and all of that stuff, in the description later, so you guys can come back a little bit later and then you guys can find it in the description. Or if this might be your first time watching it, you guys can find it in the description. Also, too, the link also in the chat room that will link you to the spaces, that will link you to Dr. Mayad's channel, that will link you to all of the emails and the calls to action as well too. So definitely that's something our family needs to get on. We definitely need to flood them. We definitely need to get on that. B1 to everybody in the chat. I see our brother Beatzilla is in here. Esmont, Oneism, Onerism, So on Igdingo. So on Igdingo, how are you? Moto, Bo. I'm bad with pronouncing names. I'm getting better. Bo Manwo, AK Sour God, RJ, Jeff. You know, we got Not Noticed with Nikki. We got a couple Nikki's in the house. I'm done. How are you? So yeah, we got a lot of people. Simply Sandra, how are you all doing this weekend? I will email and I'll call. I'm working from home this weekend. I'll make a few calls today. Exactly. That's the energy we need, you know. Call. If they don't pick up, leave a message. If you don't want to call, leave an email. You know, if you have multiple emails, leave it on multiple emails. You know, say, you know, in your own words, you know, this disrespect will not be tolerated, and Howard University needs to make a public apology, not just they need to make a public apology to Dr. Frances Cress Welsing for what she's done, for what they've done to her. Okay. And do you know too, Also, not just the disrespect, also that made what she did a lot harder for her. All of the work she put in. Now, she didn't let her being fired stop her because she was just that intelligent. She didn't let her being fired stop her. But do you know being fired from a university for speaking the truth? But I'm sure they didn't say, yeah, we fired her for speaking the truth. Being fired from a university, that puts a cloud over your reputation, over your career. And that will make it more difficult for you to go to different institutions and different universities and for you to teach and work. So they made her life more difficult. It's not just the disrespect, it's the fact that you've actually not harmed her to a degree, but you made her life more stressful than it had to be. And you're supposed to be a black university, so that's definitely not being taken lightly at all. Said nice show, thank you very much. I gotta call Howard University. I don't know. Yeah, you gotta call them. We all gotta call them. I've sent an email to one of my emails. I'm gonna send it to another one. You know, I've been kind of busy, putting some stuff together, but this is definitely something that I wanted to do. Also, before we leave, I put up a design for Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, something that I've been meaning to do for a while. I just didn't know exactly how I wanted to do it, but I finally got it done. So let me show you guys. The link is in the description below, but I have our new Dr. Frances Cress Welsing design here. Let me zoom in a little bit, give you guys a bigger feel of it. It says, I won't rest until black children are taught to love themselves as themselves. That was a quote from Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Okay, and then you have a picture of her. That's on hats, hoodies. I mean, not those shirts, hoodies, things like that. So if you guys want to cop a Dr. Frances Cress Welsing shirt, it's something I've wanted to put up for a while. Just didn't know exactly what quote to put up because putting up genetic annihilation might have been a little bit too hard for a shirt, but I felt like this shirt was very appropriate. She's queens of powerful statements, but I felt like this statement was brief enough. I felt this statement was perfect. I love this shirt. And it's definitely something I can do to show respect for our doctor right here. So the link is in the description. I just want to show you all that before we get out of here. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. I'm done. Nikki says, I love the shirt. Thank you. Everybody's really enjoying the shirt. So the link is in the description. But before we go, let me remind you all that this is not just, a video about the life of Dr. Welsing. I might have to make that a little bit later, but this is a call to action to address the disrespect that Howard University has done to Dr. Welsing and the difficulty that they put upon Dr. Welsing. We're definitely addressing that as well too, because being fired from a HBCU, if you can call it that, that makes it more difficult for you to move on in your career. However, she was able to excel past that. I mean, she became much more successful. That shows you how shitty Howard University is. And, I didn't even want to use profanity in this broadcast, but I definitely had to. So we definitely need to address that because we have to set the precedent that our icons who taught us, our icons who we get our foundation from, who we've learned from, our icons are not to be disrespected, especially by what we call a black university. We will not tolerate that at all. So definitely, you guys email, you guys call, you guys go on your social media. You guys can at them on like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You guys can be sending messages like, hey, this disrespect will not be tolerated at all. You guys need to make a public apology. Make sure you do that. If you guys see something you want to retweet, you guys can do that too. If you guys just want to copy and paste somebody else's thing, do that too. But it's best to, make your own, if you're going to tweet about it, make your own tweet, individual tweet, then that would be best because the algorithm will just, if you're just like adding Howard University, if everybody's adding them under one tweet, they'll say it's spam or whatnot. So, it's best for the algorithm that you do it that way. So That's how we're going to be moving. We must protect their legacy at all costs. Absolutely. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Also use the hashtags, because we have some hashtags. Use the hashtags. Let me show you right here. The Crest apology and shame on HU. If you guys have, I don't know if you're using your laptop or your phone, but if you guys have the bison, if you have the bison emoji, because that's the animal that they use, that's like their mascot. So if you guys have the bison emoji, you guys should put the bison emoji after the shame on you hashtag, say shame on HU hashtag. So after that, you put the bison emoji, and you can put that in your tweets on your social media. Harlem 9 says, Howard only cares for the image and their money. They fired her because she made them look bad to a certain group of people. Exactly. She said a lot of stuff that scare white folks. Let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it real. So we got to let her defend, because scaring white folks, that's not a easy thing to do. That's not a safe thing to do, to be honest. So for her to go out there and, make that her life's work, that's definitely a very honorable thing that she did for our people. And we should honor her legacy by, at the very least, making sure they apologize. Our university apologizes for what they did to her. AK Sour says that's a nice hashtag. Yes, it is. It's a very nice hashtag. But the link to that, go to Twitter. I will be putting all those links in. I kind of rushed to get on here. Had a lot going on earlier in the day. So make sure you guys go to Twitter, go to your email, Gmail, whatever. Use that stuff. If you guys can't make a call right now or whatever the case may be, definitely make sure you do that. Get the ISIS papers. If you guys haven't done so, you guys got to get the ISIS papers. If you guys are curious and interested in looking into more of her work, more of her speeches and interviews and lectures and classes, you guys can do so on YouTube. She has a whole bunch of them, hours long, on YouTube. She also worked very closely with our brother Neely Fuller Jr. When they created the 9 areas of human activity. She actually added another one, which was health. So definitely you guys should check those two people out, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing and our brother Neely Fuller Jr., who she said was like a mentor to her. So if you guys are inspired by her work, you guys definitely need to look into her mentor. So those are two people that you guys definitely should look into if you guys haven't done so already. But with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do so. If you guys haven't liked the channel, please do. If you guys haven't liked the broadcast, please do so. And subscribe to the channel. My social media is in the description below. So you guys definitely check it out. Also, too, if you guys have read the ISIS papers, I'm just waving a book around now. If you guys have read the ISIS papers, our brother Taurean Rain on the Taurean Rain Reloaded channel, he did a live where he did like a book breakdown of the ISIS papers. So that's definitely something I will be putting in the description a little bit later on this evening. You guys definitely want to check that out later if you guys have an opportunity to do so. If you guys have read the book and would like to listen to a live breakdown of the book, you guys definitely want to go to his channel, subscribe, and check that broadcast out as well too. But with that being said, thank you guys. Thank everybody. You can buy the book on Amazon. I'm sure there's other websites you can buy the book at too. It's only like $15 or something. It's very inexpensive. So definitely get that book. But I will catch you guys next week for our regularly scheduled programs. You guys have a good rest of your day. Have a good rest of your weekend, and have a good, safe weekend. Remember, we got to be on Howard University's bumper. So that was the call to action today. You guys take it easy. Be one family.